What's up guys, and today is one of the first of many backtesting sessions done by me and my partner Krishna. We're going to giving a full breakdown on exactly how we trade, what PD arrays we use, how to determine a draw on liquidity, and exactly how we view the markets. Now, I have around a 90% win rate in backtesting and live testing, so I'm just going to be showing you how I do it. I'm going to be breaking this video up into two videos, doing the whole month of September 2025 since the Discord have asked me to do that. I'm going to be breaking it down into two-week videos, about an hour to an hour and a half each, depending how long this actually is. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. We're starting on September 2nd, considering that the Monday, I believe, is a bank holiday, yeah. Okay, so we do have ISM PMI on Tuesday, September 2nd. Now, what am I looking at right here? Now, dropping down onto the 4-hour time frame, what are we seeing? We do see the external manipulation here. Now, from this external manipulation, we have made the external SMT. Now, we do have these equal lows on the S. Same with NQ, we do have this drawn liquidity that's actually quite close. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do at this internal low here. If we do see the displacement through the low, what's going to happen? The next drawn liquidity is 99% going to get met. Now, on the hourly time frame, what do we see? Manipulation. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do from this manipulation. Are we going to continue lower, which is most probably going to happen, then maybe get a reversal, or we can continue lower, rebalance displacement, or just reverse off of this low, which is less likely considering we have such a close draw on liquidity. Now, we do see the manipulation starting to hold. We do see the rebalance higher on the 5-minute time frame. Now, I'd like to see, we do have this 5-minute SIBI up here and also the 15-minute SIBI. So I'm going to be basing my trade off of this. This is what I call my pivot point. If we do see the immediate displacement through this after this manipulation, what is price doing? We're building bullish structure. We're not respecting bearish PD arrays, and we're respecting bullish PD arrays, which is this manipulation and the order block that's formed. Now, on the 1-minute time frame, what do we see? The wick down, we do see the rebalance into the manipulation here. This manipulation holds, displaces higher, we then see a rebalance lower. Now, from the rebalance lower, we do make another internal manipulation here. Now, from this internal manipulation, I'd like to see what is price going to do market open. We can either, where's the path? We can either displace through the SIBI here, maybe make another internal manipulation here, then displace lower, or respect the high as a support zone, then displace higher again. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do. Because if we do see straight displacement, we're most likely going to take this low down here. Okay, FX replay sucks. It's so annoying when it does that. Okay, so we're just rebalancing. So we do see the rebalance high, displacement lower, another internal manipulation. Considering manipulating lows multiple times, this is telling me the price is building bearish structure. Multiple manipulations to one side is a sign, is an algorithmic signature of price going to continue. Now, there we go. We do see the external manipulation here. Now, from the external manipulation, we do see the internal manipulation on ES. Now, we can either do one of two things. We can either continue bearish price action, maybe get a rebalance into one of these SIBIs here, let's say up here, disrespect a BISI, then displace lower, and just build overall bearish structure. Now, if this low gets respected and the manipulation gets respected, you do see displacement through a SIBI here, or respect the order block, rebalance displacement, you could take a long. So we are literally just using this low as what? As our pivot point. So I'd like to see what is price going to do around this low here. Okay, so we're respecting, okay, so we do see displacement higher. Now, what was I saying? I'd like to see this SIBI get disrespected to then target these draws and liquidity up here, which are our relatively equal highs. Okay, there's the 1-minute order block. So there's a 1-minute order block form now. If this order block gets respected, we do see a closure above the SIBI here. We are most likely going to go higher. Why? Bullish manipulation, bullish PD arrays holding. If this order block holds, if we do see a SIBI disrespect, bearish PD arrays are getting disrespected. We have clears, draws, and liquidity. It's simple. So let's just see what price does. We do see the rebalance into the 50% of the order block, displays higher. Now, I want to see a closure above the SIBI here. No closure. Okay, there you go. Boom. That's my entry. Stop loss. Go below the rebalance candle. Quite a hefty stop loss. Stop losses aren't usually that big, so I'm just going to go with a bigger TP. Go for the 1-to-1 there. So what is my trade based off? The external manipulation. Now, considering this is an external manipulation, we can most likely anticipate price to have an external reaction, which is a big move higher. Considering we aren't manipulating this low multiple times, we're respecting the order block, we're disrespecting the bearish PD rate, we are clearly going higher. So 42 points should go like 0.8 minis, micros. Usual sizing. Now let's just set TP, stop loss. And what do we see? Do see displacement higher now. I want to see this displacement carry on. If we do see the closure above this high and break even, okay. We're displacing above the high. I want to be break even now, just to minimize risk. Boom, TBA. Simple, simple, simple. What do we see? External manipulation, rebalance into the order block, displacement higher, closure above the SIBI here. Disrespecting bearish PD arrays, respecting bullish PD arrays, manipulation, rebalance, displacement. That is the core of my strategy. Literally just manipulation, rebalance, displacement, or manipulation, displacement, or rebalance, displacement. It's that simple. Respecting one side of the PD arrays, disrespecting the other. Clearly telling you the algorithm is working. Now, on to the next day, which is 3rd of September. Jolt's job opening, okay. Now, the thing is with 10 a.m. news, and this is some source for you guys, 10 a.m. news loves to manipulate from 9:30 to about 9:50 or 10 a.m. once the news driver opens. We then see a manipulation at the news driver at 10 a.m. Then we displace towards the drawn liquidity. We usually generate liquidity, make equal lows or equal highs. Then we displace to them just after 10 a.m. Now, let's see what price does. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, what do we see? Manipulation, displacement. We're not respecting this 4-hour SIBI here, which is telling me what? It's telling me price still wants to look for bullish price action. We're looking for bullish draws and liquidity. Now, why is that? We're not respecting high time frame PD arrays. That is the only thing. If we're not respecting high time frame PD arrays and we're going to the opposite direction, we are most likely going to continue. If we're not getting an immediate reaction off of them, we are going lower. It's that we're going higher. That is that simple. Same thing if we're bearish. If we're disrespecting bullish PD arrays, we are going lower. But as you can see here, we rebalance into it and displace higher. We rebalance into it here, rebalance, and then displace through it. We are not going lower right now. Yes, we could get an intraday rebalance lower, which we could see, but overall, high time frame narrative is bearish for the week. So let's just see what we do. Hourly time frame rebalances into the BISI, displaces higher, makes a market structure shift in, then see a rebalance lower on the hourly. Do we get a rebalance into the BISI? No, we edge the BISI there and we just displace away. Now this could be a drawn liquidity here. Now 50-minute time frame, what do we see? 50-minute time frame, we do see the rebalance higher now into the wick. We edge a drawn liquidity here and we start to move lower again. Now, I'd like to see what's price going to do at these equal highs here and these lows here as my pivot points. What are we going to do from these highs and lows? Same thing with ES, we don't take it and we displace lower. Now we have made the internal manipulation there. Have made another internal manipulation, which we do on ES and Q, sorry. Rebalance higher and just rebalance lower. Now, it looks like the next drawn liquidity is going to be this internal low and this BISI, generate liquidity to then go higher. Now, 5-minute time frame, what do we see? We do see the displacement higher into the wick. Now, from the wick here, price displaces lower, makes a BISI disrespect. Now, I'd like to see what's price going to do at these equal lows here. 1-minute time frame, what do we see? We edge a drawn liquidity, displace lower. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do at market open. Okay, we do see the displacement lower and the internal manipulation. Now, there's only one of two things price can do. Well, three things. One could be we respect the low, maybe respect the order block, disrespect the SIBI, displace higher, targeting the next drawn liquidity higher. Or we can displace lower, rebalance, displace lower, build bearish prices. Now, obviously we can chop sideways, but what are the chances of that? Very slim. Now, we do make the internal total suit, SMT, rebalance into the hourly BISI. Now, from the hourly BISI, I'd like to see what is price going to do in the hourly SIBI here. If we respect an order block, disrespect from the 1-minute SIBI, sorry, I'd like to see a displacement high, take that entry, targeting what? The equal highs. But Since ES hasn't taken this low, we could still come back lower to take it on ES, then go higher. Still a possibility, so we just got to be patient. We've had a strong closure below it, still respecting the hourly Bissy though. The 1 minute order block is now getting respected. Now I want to see a displacement through the Sibi here if we are truly bullish. Now, what have we just done? We've just made an internal manipulation here. We've made an internal SMT inside of a Sibi. Now, if the Sibi gets respected, we do see a closure below these lows, we are bearish. It's that simple. Why? We're respecting bearish PD rays, disrespecting bullish PD rays. It is that simple. Okay, we're moving lower. We're manipulating multiple times. We're not seeing a strong closure though. No. Still no closure below the low. If we close below the low that manipulated this wick, then we will be disrespecting this order block and the manipulation. But considering we're not doing that, we're just choppy. We're not doing anything. Now, remember what I said. 10 a.m. is most likely going to give the move. Why? We have 10 a.m. jobs opening. Now, we're still failing to go low. We're still not doing anything. This SMT is still holding. Still not doing anything. Now, if we are going to see a closure below this low, then we can take an entry short. But apart from that, I'm not taking anything. Okay. This is looking good. Now, what does ES do? We disrespect the SMT here. We make an internal total soup. Now, if this total soup holds, we do see a Sibi disrespect, could target higher prices because we're failing to go lower. Now ES is taking the external draw. I'm going to be patient. Okay, so we do see a displacement higher. Now, this looks good for longs, but I'm still uncertain. I'm still uncertain because we do see the internal manipulation, but that's about it. We're disrespecting this low, which we were respecting earlier. So it's just a bit all over the shop, as you can see. We've just been staying in what? A 30-point range. So we're just waiting. Okay, so we do see the rebalance into the 1 minute Sibi there. Still respecting a 1 minute Sibi. We're now displacing lower. We're still holding the SMT there. We did just make another internal SMT, which is a low probable SMT. I wouldn't count this as an SMT personally. We do see the Bissy disrespect there now. It looks like we're going to come lower again, but we're about to make another SMT at the low on ES. There's the SMT. Now from the internal SMT, what is price going to do? Price is respecting the SMT. We're not really doing much. We're just chopping about. Okay, so 10 a.m. opens. The SMT gets respected. We do see displacement higher. We do make the Sibi disrespect there. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do at this 1 minute SMT. We're still respecting. We're still displacing higher. Now, what am I going to be referring to? This internal high here. If we do see a displacement above this high, rebalance displacement, we're most likely going to come to these equal highs here. But if we do see the manipulation, displacement, disrespect this Bissy here, we are going to come lower. Now, both could happen. ES looks like it's building bearish structure. Y, multiple manipulations lower. However, we do have these equal highs here that look quite nice. Okay, so we do see a displacement above this high here. Now, like I said, I want to see a displacement above this high, taking out these highs, then we can hit a nice reversal from there, or a nice continuation if we respect this high, maybe make some kind of internal manipulation or internal rebalance, then displace higher. So let's just see what we do. But right now we're in no man's land. We're right next to a drawn liquidity. Anything can happen. Okay, so there's the external manipulation there. What do we make? Total soup, SMT. Okay, just get rid of these. So from the total soup SMT, we do make the 1 minute order block here. Now I'd like to see what are we going to do from the order block. So the order block's still getting respected there. Now, since we have an external manipulation, what did I say? Since we have an external manipulation, we're most likely going to get a what? An external move. I want to see a true displacement, like a strong displacement lower if I'm going to take anything from here, because what have we seen? Manipulation, we've rebalanced into the 50% of the order block, still respecting, which is an algorithmic signature that price is going to go lower, or most likely. Now we do see total soup, SMT, order block respect, displacement, rebalance. Now I want to see displacement. This looks really good. Maybe wait 1 more second. Okay, there you go. There's a second push on that. That's nice. Okay, so what do we see? 1-to-1. 1-to-1 because I just want to be in and out. I mean, I could target this external low, but the fact of the matter is we have manipulated. So this is an order block. And, you know, price could reverse from there considering the conditions right now. But what am I seeing? External manipulation, total soup, SMT, order block respect, rebalance into the order block. Then we do see a displacement away from the order block, making a market structure shift and a change in state delivery. Now, I'm going to enter there. 27 points, just going to enter 1 mini. Now, I'd like to see price just flushly displace lower to the BISI here. Now, I am pretty much aiming for the closure of the BISI now. Once we tap the BISI, I'm going to go break even because we could easily reverse from there, but let's just see what we do. Okay, so we do see displacement lower. Now, this is exactly why I enter on non-candle closure. A lot of people preach candle closure, but the fact of the matter is, if you enter on candle closure, you are either missing out on a lot of money, or you could get manipulated, yes. But when it's coming from a manipulation rebalance displacement, what is going to happen? You are going to have speed and efficiency towards the draw on liquidity. Now, why wouldn't you want to capitalize on that? Why would you wait? If you're seeing the confluences right there and we're making a market structure shift, we are changing direction in the market. Why wouldn't you want to capitalize on that? So that's something for you to think about. Now we're continuing to displace lower. Now once we tap this BISI, boom, I'm break even. Why? We could easily reverse from here. We could tap the BISI, then displace higher. Now just want to be careful of SMT as well. Okay, boom, clean. Clean, so we do see total soup, SMT, order block respect, rebalance into the order block, and displacement lower, making a market structure shift here. Now, what do I target? The 1 minute BISI. Now, I could have targeted this full drawn liquidity here, but ES is just about to make an SMT. So if I did, see if it plays out. Maybe the SMT there. There's a 1 minute order block. If we're gonna close, bullish. Still respecting the BISI, by the way. The BISI is still getting respected. This is an algorithmic signature. Why? Internal SMT, BISI respect. Now, if you do see displacement through this 50% of the SIB, you could easily take a long off of that. But considering making multiple manipulations, today is just a high resistance day. I would not trade it personally on an XFA, but this was still a clean trade. But yeah, besides the point, that was amazing. Just a manipulation, rebalance, displacement. It really is that simple. If you have a simple model, you know it back to front. It is really that easy. Anyway, next day, 4th of September. 4th of September. ADP, non-farm employment change, and ISM PMI. Now, what did I say about ISM PMI? It is a lower probable news driver. Now, it can be good, but usually at the start of the month, it just 99% of the time it's not good. And why is that? It's a 10 a.m. news driver. Yes, it is 9:45, but 10 a.m. as well. Now, what did I say? 10 a.m. usually likes to chop around just before 10 a.m., manipulate 10 a.m., then distribute to the draw on liquidity. Now, just got to be careful of that happening. So let's just see what we are going to do. So, 4-hour time frame. Now, what are we seeing? 4-hour time frame, manipulation, displacement. Now, what did I say? We're not respecting high time frame PD array. So what are we going to do? Continue higher on the high time frame. Now, this doesn't mean that just blindly long when market opens. No, this means have a critical eye for what you're taking. If you're taking a short, make sure you are in and out because the high time frame is bullish. Now, where were we before that? We were here. Now we're all the way up here. What did I say? High time frame is bullish. Now, on the hourly time frame, what do we see? Manipulation, displacement, rebalance, displacement. Now, considering we've made no manipulations here, I could anticipate price to displace lower, maybe make an internal manipulation, then displace higher. Why? This whole move is unsponsored. We've made no manipulations to actually form it. Edge the low, edge the low, edge the low, edge the low. We keep manipulating multiple times at the high, but not at the lows. So let's just see what we do. 15-minute time frame, what do we see? 15-minute time frame makes an internal manipulation here. Now, from the internal top soup rebalance into the manipulation, we do see a displacement lower towards these draws on liquidity lower. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do at these lows. 5-minute time frame, we do see the rebalance higher. Into any PDOs? No. We do see the rebalance higher. Now, we do have this internal SMT on the 5-minute. Now, from this SMT, what could price do? Price could easily market open, just straight out dump. Straight out dump, take the drawn liquidity, rebalance, take the next drawn liquidity. That is definitely a possibility. Now, if this SMT doesn't hold, what are we thinking? We are bullish until we manipulate a high. So let's just see. Now on the 1 minute time frame, what are we seeing? 1 minute time frame, respecting the SMT here, starting to go lower, but not really much. It's just a bearish candle. Now I'd like to see what is price going to do at market open. We do make another internal SMT there. We take out that high on ES. We do see a displacement away. Now, where's the next drawn liquidity from this internal manipulation? This low here. Okay, so we respect the total soup there. Rebalance into the order block. Displace higher. Still holding the SMT, but it's not looking like it's going to hold. Okay, we are seeing a displacement higher. Okay, so we disrespect the SMT there. We do make the internal total soup. Now, from this internal total soup here, what is price going to do? Because we are in what? The 5 minute SIBI here. Now, from the internal manipulation, if we respect the 5 minute SIBI and immediately displace lower, what is price going to do? Most likely seek these equal lows down here. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do here. Yeah, okay. So we're respecting a manipulation here. We have made this external SMT. We're about to manipulate this high on NQ, not on ES just yet. So we've got to be careful of this because we could make an internal manipulation, SMT respect displacement lower, targeting these lows. Or the SMT could get disrespected, targeted these highs, then reverse, or straight out just continue to the 4-hour draw on liquidity. Now, we'll see what happens. Now, what am I going to be referring to as my pivot point now? This internal high. We're either going to do one of two things. Well, three, like I said before. We could either displace above it, rebalance, respect the high here as a support zone or some kind of BISI here, then displace higher, making a market structure shift. Then you can enter longs, targeting the next drawn liquidity. Or we could do this. We can manipulate, displace lower, rebalance into some kind of order block or a SIBI, then displace lower, making some kind of BISI disrespect or market structure shift here. Then, okay, this is all over the shop now. Then take a short lower. Now, this isn't a very good drawing, but you get what I'm trying to say. Manipulation, rebalance, displacement, targeting a BISI or these equal lows. So let's just see what price does. Okay, we internally manipulate. Is that a high? No. Well, yeah, but... Okay, so what do we see? We do see total soup SMT here. Now, from the total soup SMT, what am I going to be referring to? The 1 minute order block. Okay. No order block yet. We're still displacing higher now. It looks like we're coming for this external draw here now. Could edge it and go lower, but... Okay, there you go. There's the external manipulation. Sorry about rebalance into that. No. Okay. So now we've made the external manipulation. What am I going to be referring to? The 1 minute BISI as my pivot point. Because we've made an external manipulation. Now, what am I going to be referring to? The BISI and the order block. Since we made the manipulation, I'd like to see a displacement through the BISI, a closure displacement, or a strong displacement lower to target either this high here or the next BISI in the leg. It's that simple. Manipulation, if we see a rebalance and displacement, could take that entry. Now, if we do see a closure above the wick that manipulated, we are clearly bullish. This is disrespecting the order block and the manipulation. So let's just see what we do. Do you see the rebalance into the order block there? Still getting respected. Now, I want to see a closure below this low there. Well, okay, boom, there's my entry. Skipped bit. Really wanted to get the entry there, but that's fine. Extra confirmation, I guess. So I'm going to put my stop loss above the high that manipulated. Kind of chopped. Now, I could go with a more riskier stop loss and put it above the order block. But then again, we could rebalance. So I'm just going to go with the safer option. The manipulation, go for the rebalance wick. Now, the rebalance wick, if we're truly bearish, we will not want to see price go above this. If we go above this, we are going to be bullish. It is that simple. Now, what am I going off here? External manipulation, external SMT, order block respect, BISI disrespect, the high getting disrespected. If we respected a high and displaced it higher, respecting the BISI, making a market structure shift, then we're bullish, but we're not. So let's just see what we do. Oh, forgot to enter. Shit. Okay. Could have waited for the closure, but again, would have got my entry around her. Okay, so we do see the rebalance higher now. If we do see a rebalance into the SIBI, displacement lower, that would be perfect. Or if you see straight displacement. Now, this is where you've got to go break even. Why? If we do see the BISI get respected and a displacement higher, we are most likely either going to come back for the SIBI or the high here. So I'd rather just not be in drawdown and just take a break even. Okay, I want to see straight displacement through it. Boom, TB hit. Nice. Simple stuff. That kind of got me a bit scared there, but what do we see? External manipulation, order block respect, displacement lower, BISI disrespect, get disrespecting this recent high here, which we disrespected the support zone, targeting the next BISI lower or the 1-to-1. But it is really that simple. Manipulation, rebalance, displacement, disrespecting the opposite PD arrays. Now, on to the next day, which I believe is NFP because it's a Friday. Yes. Let's have a look. Okay, hourly earnings and NFP. Okay, Trump speaks in the PM, doesn't really matter. If Trump speaks in the AM, usually shoots volatility out of the market, but since it's at 4 p.m, that's fine. Anyway, NFP source. What can we expect for NFP now? NFP usually gives the best move after 950. Now, 950 is usually the optimal entry for NFP. You can backtest if you want. I backtested it myself over years of data, and it's proven to give the best win rate. Now, you can sometimes get a 930 entry, but these big news drivers like NFP, PPI, CPI usually give the best entry after 950, specifically NFP. So let's just see what we do now. High time frame, 4-hour time frame. We do see a displacement above this high now. The next drawn liquidities are these internal highs, and I'm just going to mark the first one out. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do around this high here. Just going to mark out all these highs here. Believe is ES at all-time high. Yeah, okay. So ES is at all-time high here. So we still have draws and liquidity higher on NQ, not on ES though. Okay. Now on the 15-minute time frame, what do we see? Rebalance lower, internal manipulation, displacement higher. Now, what are we going to do at this internal high and the 15-minute BISI here? 5-minute time frame, we do see the external manipulation, rebalance, respecting the manipulation. Now, if we do see a displacement through the 15-minute BISI, could easily target NFP low or even the wick, the rejection block. Now, on the 1-minute time frame, what do we see? Manipulation, rebalance, displacement. Now, we do have all of these accumulated highs here. I'm going to be referring to what is price going to do at these accumulated highs here. Now, CES. Do we have SMT? Okay, yeah, we do have SMT. I didn't clock that. So we do have internal total soup, internal SMT. Now from the internal total soup and SMT, what is price going to do at the 1-minute order block here? So let's just see. Market opens, rebalances into the 15-minute BISI. Now, like I said, if I do see a straight displacement lower, I could take that entry immediately. Considering we've already got the external and internal manipulation. Now, this is another thing. Price loves to, once it externally manipulates, internally manipulate, then displace lower to generate more liquidity to then go lower. Usually happens with bearish, not so much bullish, but it still happens. Don't know why. Bearish manipulation is a lot stronger than bullish manipulation. I'm not sure why, just happens. Now, what do we see? Internal manipulation here, displacement low. We're still respecting a 1-minute order block. Now, I want to see a displacement through the 50% of this 15-minute BISI. Let's be more specific and use this 5-minute here. Okay. So we do see a displacement through these lows here, disrespecting these lows. We're not respecting them as a manipulation, which is telling me what? Price is continuing lower to manipulate lows multiple times. Now, let's just see what price does here. Okay, so we do see the rebalance into the 1-minute order block. Now, if I do see this order block respect and immediate displacement below this low here, could easily target these draws and liquidity lower. Now, like I said, to bear in mind, NFP usually gives the best entries around 950. Now, let's just wait. Okay, so if I do see this order block respect and a displacement below this low, closing below this low, could most likely take a short here. Okay, so this looks quite good here. I'm just going to wait for the 5 minutes to get disrespected because we could easily rebalance into that there. ES is displacing higher again. Okay, This is looking a bit weird now. Okay, so price is respecting a 5 minute there. We're still not closing below the low. Starting to rebalance higher again. We're manipulating lows, but not really doing much. We're just accumulating. Now again, NFP loves to accumulate before 9.50. Now, what do we see? We did rebalance into the 5 minute there. Now, that was a nice entry, but it's just too risky for me. As you can see, we just wicked higher and wicked lower. It's just, and you can see this bad price action. Why? This is a tell. If ES is just chopping, looks like an absolute barcode, you know not to trade that. You're smarter than that. Okay, so the 5 minutes still getting respected here. Do see a displacement lower, multiple manipulations lower. Now it looks like price is starting to come to this 1 minute BISI here. Okay, we're just edging the drawn liquidity. We're not really doing much. Okay, so we do see displacement higher. We're not really doing much. We're just continuing lower. Now, considering there's no PD arrays around this area, okay, my mouse is bugging. Considering there's no PD arrays around this area, what am I going to be referring to? The 50% of this recent leg here. Now, I'd like to see if we do see a rebalance into a 50% and a displacement low, could easily target lower prices, but we're literally just chopping downwards, especially because ES just isn't looking too good. I think I'm just going to wait. Yeah, we're just rebalancing higher. Not really doing much still, we're just displacing higher now. Okay, so we've disrespected the 50% of this leg. Could maybe make an internal manipulation on ES now. It's now 9.43. We're respecting these lows. Now, if I do see a displacement low with speed and efficiency disrespecting the BISI, I could take a short here. No, we just respected a BISI there. Okay, so we're just displacing higher. Now, I'm just going to get rid of these. Now, considering we've just respected the BISI here, it looks like we're going to go higher. Now, what am I going to be careful of? This internal high here. Now, what is price going to do at this internal high here? Could easily make a manipulation, respect it, then displace lower. Okay, so we do see displacement through the BISI here. Now, this would be a good entry, but considering ES edge the highs, still looks like we want another manipulation. Now, I would usually take this, but considering that factor there, I'm just going to wait. Okay, we do see the rebalance higher. Okay, that looks like a good entry, if it was. If we do see the CB get respected here and displacement lower, yeah, that looks, or maybe not. Okay, so what do we see? Internal manipulation here. Now from the internal SMT, what is price going to do? We do see displacement higher, the market structure shift here. Now what am I going to be referring to? ES and this high here. Okay, so ES takes the high. Now what are we going to do in the 1 minute CB and the SMT? Okay. Okay, there's a 1 minute order block there. Now from this 1 minute order block, we have just disrespected the unopened BISI here. Now I'd like to see this SMT hold, a displacement lower, maybe get a rebalance into the order block, then the displacement low to target what? These equal lows here. These are nice draws in liquidity. So let's just see what we do. Still 20 seconds till the candle. Ooh, okay. That doesn't look really good. We're still looking like we might come higher. Okay, just mark these highs out. Still in the order block, by the way. We're still not doing anything. We're just, holy fuck. Okay, so what do we see? Rebalance into the order block. The SMT gets respected. We do see displacement lower through the BISI, respecting the order block, disrespecting this wick low. I'm going to be entering there. This is a bit of a late entry, so I'm going to put my stop loss just above this unopened CB. Why? It gives price room to rebalance and then displace, and then I can target this internal low here. I could target the BISI here, to be fair. Now, what do we see? This is the entry from the manipulation and displacement. It's just 10.50. Yeah, it's not even off any news. It's just an amazing displacement lower. So I'm going to enter there. This is 30 points. Yeah. target the 1 minute BISI there. So let's just see what price does. Now, I've given room for price to rebalance and displace lower. Okay, so boom, there's the entry. We're still displacing low. We have made internal SMT, which isn't getting respected. Yes, it's still displacing lower. Multiple manipulations. What is this telling us? Price is continuing lower. We're manipulating lower multiple times. Now, I want to see this clear drawn liquidity get taken. Now, this is okay that we're coming into drawdown, but what I don't want to see is a displacement above the SIBI here. This is why I allowed price room to breathe for them to displace lower again. Okay, so do you see rebalance into the SIBI there? Now I want to see displacement lower. Okay, boom, there's the displacement lower. Now, if we do see a closure below this wick low, I'm going to go break even. Give me a closure. No closure just yet, so I'm not going to go break even because we could easily rebalance into my break even point. This just isn't looking too good right now. We're respecting this SMT now. If I do see a displacement above this wick higher, I'm going to manually close the trade, because that would mean the SIBI just isn't getting respected. We're getting mitigated multiple times. Okay, we're displacing low. We've just closed below the low. Now I want to see a displacement. I'm going to go break even. Okay. Still respecting this general range. We're not really doing much. Now I want to see displacement lower. Give me a displacement. Okay, boom. There's my displacement. I'm now break even. Boom, TBF. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that was a very high resistance day. That wasn't too good, but simple, simple, simple. Manipulation, rebalance, displacement. Now, I entered off the manipulation displacement, but you could have gotten a rebalance there, displacement low, you enter there, targeting the same drawn liquidity, but mine was still valid nonetheless. Now, it's clear what price was going to do. Why? Internally manipulated, then immediately displaced lower, making multiple manipulations on ES and NQ, which is an algorithmic signature that price is going to go lower. We then immediately disrespect the unopened BISI here and displace lower. So what is holding? The bearish PD raise. What is getting disrespected? The bullish PD raise. It is that simple, genuinely. It is that simple. But yeah, perfect day. Perfect day. So next day, which is Monday the 8th of September. Just have a look at this. What do we have? No news. Okay. So the thing is with no news Mondays, they are hit and miss. No news Mondays can either be really good or really shit, and there is really no in between. So just got to be careful with that. Okay, so 4 hour time frame, what are we seeing? 4 hour time frame, we do see the external manipulation rebalance lower into the 4 hour BISI. Now we started to displace higher again. Now hourly time frame, hourly BISI respect displacement higher. Now we've mitigated this hourly SIBI here. Now what is this telling me? Price could easily displace higher to fulfill the hourly SIBI, then come lower again, or fully disrespect the SIBI to take out this external draw. So I'm going to mark out the fulfill of this hourly SIBI here. Now we have made the internal manipulation on the lower time frame. Now on the 5 minute time frame, make the internal total soup. Now what is price going to do from this total soup here? We do see the multiple manipulations higher, which is telling me price could easily come higher, but I'm just going to be wary of that, because what we see, external manipulation, internal manipulation. Now from the external and internal manipulation, what is price going to do at the 1 minute order block? Let's just see. Now we're continuing higher. We continue to make multiple manipulations. We're still respecting a 1 minute BISI there. It's just looking a bit suspicious to me. I'm not really seeing much. Now we could come to fulfill the SIBI here now. This could happen. Okay, so, holy wick. So we do make the internal SMT there. Total soup, SMT, ES is displacing lower, NQ is just staying at the high. Not really doing much. Okay. ES rebalances into the SIBI, displaces lower, NQ is just dilly-dallying at the high. We're not really doing much. Okay, so we do see the rebalance into the wick and displacement lower. Now, from the rebalance into the wick and the displacement lower, what is price going to do at the 1 minute BISI here and the next drawn liquidity, which is this internal low? Now, what do we see? We do see the internal SMT. Now, from this internal SMT, what is price going to do? Do you see internal manipulation, rebalance into the wick, displacement lower, still respecting the order block? Now, I want to see a displacement through the BISI here and through this low. Now, if we do see a displacement through the BISI and the low, what could price do? We could see, let's displacement, rebalance displacement, making a market structure shift, or some kind of busy disrespect here, targeting the next draw on liquidity, like rebalance, building barrier structure. Or we could do this. We could internally manipulate, then respect an order block, maybe disrespect a SIBI, and then go higher, build bullish structure, disrespecting this order block here, which is highly possible. Why? We're manipulating highs multiple times. Now, I just want to see what is price going to do with this internal SMT here. Okay, so the SMT is still holding now. What would I like to see if we're truly bullish? A closure above this high here. Because this would be disrespecting the bearish manipulation. Looks like we're going to get that. Okay. Okay. So I usually take this entry. Considering we're so high up though, and it's such low points, it would be negative R. I just wouldn't take it, personally, to the full fill. Now this is 99% going to play out. Why? Internal manipulation, busy respect. We do see the order block disrespect, market structure shift. This looks like a clean setup, but one, I'm too late, and two, it's just not looking too clean. But again, negative R. If it's like 0.8, I don't really care, but this would be like 0.5. It just doesn't make sense. Even if I put my stop loss there, yeah, 0.5 R, it's just not good. So yeah, we can't take the drawn liquidity, that's fine. But I just wouldn't have taken that. Now we do make the internal SMT here, but can't lie. We could easily reverse from here, but we just don't have any draws to take. Let's just see what we do in the 1 minute BISI here. Now, since we fulfilled the SIBI here, what is price going to do? Okay. No? There you go. Okay. Still just dilly-dallying. We're not really doing much. Now, I'd like to see what is ES going to do once we've taken this high. Okay, so that would have worked out for the 1-to-1, but yeah, I think that's just optimal trade. I wouldn't have taken anything else. It's just, yeah. That's fine. We missed out on the dub, but that's okay. Could get a nice reversal from here. So we do see the internal manipulation, disrespect to the SMT. Now, I'd like to see what is price going to do in the 1 minute BISI here. Okay, so we do see disrespect to the BISI. This could be good. However, we could make an SMT soon. To be honest, I wouldn't take this entry. It doesn't look high probable. Now, again, works out for the 1-to-1, but is it worth it? Not really. I wouldn't have taken it on my XFA. But simple trade. Why? Rebalance low, internal manipulation, order block disrespect, market structure shift. You target the full fill, or we then see a displacement lower after the rebalance into the SIBI respect. Displacement lower, BISI disrespect. Now from the BISI disrespect, you enter there. Stop loss below the BISI. I mean stop loss, above the SIBI. Sorry. Displacement candle targeting a 1-to-1, or even the high. But considering we made the SMT there, you just get out of the 1-to-1. Simple day, but classic no news Monday. Kind of choppy. Don't really like the price action there. Just clear cut bullish continuation. So I wouldn't take any. Once I've seen optimal entry play out, I usually just don't take anything, because once the optimal entry for the day is playing out, every time you see an entry, the win rate goes down by probably 15 to 20%. So there's just no need to take an entry when it is lower probable, especially on an XFA. Evals don't matter so much, but XFA, it's not worth it. Never worth it. Never worth it. Always just have the mindset of just another day. Have the mindset of there's another day to trade. Just trade tomorrow. Or even if you're going to pass an eval, or like you're close to a payout or anything like that, just have the mindset of another day. I can make the money another day. Doesn't matter. No rush. It's the biggest fault in every trader. No bloody rush. Anyway, what is this? The 9th of September. What is the news? Prelim benchmark. I don't really see that much. What is that? Difference in value between observed and estimated. Okay. Negative results. Okay, so couldn't be that good. Anyway, Tuesday the 9th, we do have 10 AM news. So again, what's the protocol? We could chop towards 10 AM. 10 AM manipulate, displays to the drawn liquidity. Now, don't know if that's going to happen, but we're going to see. Anyway, 1 hour time frame, what do we see? We do see these equal highs here. Now, ES hasn't taken them either. Have taken this internal high here, so we do have the internal SMT. Now, from the internal SMT, what do we see? Displacement, rebalance displacement. Now, we do have all these draws and liquidity here, so This is my external drawn liquidity right now, the hourly BISI. Now, what are we going to do towards this hourly BISI? Don't really see much on the 15. 5 minute time frame, we do see SMT, SUBI respect, displacement, rebalance, displacement. We're manipulating lows multiple times, which is an algorithmic signature of what? We are most likely going to go lower. Now, on the 1 minute time frame, we do see the disrespect to the 5 minute SUBI. Now, what are we going to do in market open? We do see displacement higher, internal manipulation. Do we make SMT? Yes. So we have made the SMT there. Now, from this internal SMT, what is price going to do? Okay, so we do see manipulation, displacement. Now I'd like to see what is price going to do at these internal lows. If we do carry on displacing, these lows are most likely going to get met. If we do see the disrespect of the BISI, because what? Because this would be the manipulation, rebalance, displacement. And we do see the disrespect to the bearish PD array, rebalance, displacement, targeting the lows here. Now, this might happen, I'm not really sure, but right now we're just accumulating. I'm not really seeing much. I'd like to see this wick respect and displacement lower, disrespecting the BISI and just SUBI, yeah, BISI, entering there, targeting the SUBI, the lows. Let's just see what we do. Could maybe come back for an internal manipulation. Not sure though. Okay, we're just really not doing anything right now. Just going on the 5 second. I'm not seeing anything. The manipulation's still holding. Okay, the manipulation is still holding. So we do see the total soup. We're just starting to build bearish price action again. Now, what are we going to do at these internal lows here? Yes, we have just made an internal manipulation. Now, the BISI's still getting respected. Now, what do I want to see if we're bullish? I'd want to see this BISI hold, this manipulation hold, maybe a rebalance, just carry on. Then I want to see a closure above this high here, maybe get a rebalance and then displacement lower, maybe out of the BISI. Enter once this high gets disrespected, targeting bullish prices. Stop loss below a rebalance, targeting external draw. Now, why? This would be disrespecting this external manipulation, telling me price wants to go higher, making multiple manipulations. But considering we're still respecting the manipulation, we're failing to go higher, and we do have these relatively equal lows here, and all of these as well, we could easily look for shorts, but right now I'm just uncertain. We're just in a range, and you want to see a breakout of the range before you actually take anything. Okay, we're still respecting a wick that manipulated. Now, what do we see there? Internal total soup. Now, from the internal total soup, we do also see an internal manipulation, internal SMT there. So rebalance higher, respecting a manipulation wick. We do see a displacement lower from the total soup SMT. Now, we are displacing lower here. I want to see the closure below this wick lower. That's not convincing enough to me. We do see the rebalance into the order block. We're starting to displace lower again. Now, I want to see immediate displacement. Okay, we're displacing. That's perfect. Now, stop loss is kind of dropped. That's just not looking too good right now. Could target. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Perfect. Now, I've got to be careful around this low. If we do see the SMT displacement higher, then I'm just going to go break even because I do want to mitigate a loss there. 22 points. Just go 2 minis. So what is this entry off? This entry is off the external manipulation, rebalance lower, respecting the external manipulation. We do see total soup SMT internally, a displacement lower, change in the state delivery from up, down close, down close. We close below the up close candle, which is telling me we have got change in the state delivery. So I'm going to put my TP there, targeting the internal lows. So let's just see what price does. Now, like I said, I've got to be careful of the internal SMT. Just go on the 5 second. Okay, now what am I going to do here? If we do see an immediate displacement higher, disrespecting the CIVI, then I'm just going to manually close because the SMT is holding. Now I want to see a straight displacement below this lower. Okay, nice. Okay, now I'll break even. Just to mitigate a loss if we do respect the SMT there. Holy fuck. Okay, so the SMT is getting respected. I'm going to allow it to go into the CIVI there. I'm just going to try my stop loss. $300 loss isn't that bad. The SMT is still getting respected. We do see displacement, rebalance into the order block, displacement low. We have a clear drawn liquidity lower. We no longer have an SMT. ES hasn't taken this low yet. I think we're going to rebalance into the Sibian displaced lower again. Okay, taken out for a loss there. Holy chop. Oh my gosh. No way. Okay. So what do we see? We do see the internal SMT there. Rebalance displacement targeting this external low. That's okay. Just unfortunate. I shouldn't have trailed so early, but is what it is. There's a crazy wick that took me out. That's fine. Okay, cool. So what was this entry off? This would have been valid, but trailed too early. But what do we see? External manipulation, rebalance higher, internal manipulation, turtle soup, SMT. We then see a rebalance into the 1 minute order block here. Now, this is where I slipped up trailing my stop loss. What do we see? A rebalance into the 50% of the order block, then a displacement lower targeting the external low now. That is where I slipped up. Shouldn't have trailed so early, but that's fine. I just wanted to mitigate the loss from an SMT being held. We're still holding the SMT actually, but yeah, is what it is. Not a winning system without losses. Now, Wednesday the 10th of September, what are we seeing? 9:27. Okay, so what is this? PPI or CPI? Okay, PPI. Okay, so same protocol, most likely looking for an entry after 9:50, but that is quite specific to NFP. This can happen with PPI though, so just got to be careful now. Hourly time frame, we're all time high. Just get rid of that. No, this is all time high here. Now we are so close to all time high now. I think that's a weekly. It's a weekly draw on liquidity, so we could anticipate price to easily just manipulate that and then displace lower. So let's just see. Don't really see much on the hourly, it's just the same thing, rebalance displacement, no manipulations. Now, considering there's no manipulations, no prominent manipulations, this whole move higher is unsponsored, which means what? We are most likely going to come lower for a rebalance to then go higher again. So let's just see what we do. We do see the 50-minute BISI here. Now, if this 50-minute BISI holds, we do see displacement closure above this high, we're going to come to the external high here. Rebalance lower, 5-minute BISI respect displacement high. We then see a rebalance lower again into the 5-minute BISI here. Now I'm just going to get rid of this real quick and just focus on the 5-minute BISI. Now, if this 5-minute BISI gets respected, we do see a displacement above this high here. We are most likely going to come to what? This high here. Why? Multiple manipulations higher, BISI respect, displacement higher. Or if we do see the BISI get disrespected, displacement below the low here, what is the next draw on liquidity? PPI low. So let's just see what we do. PPI low. So we do see the internal manipulation here, displacement lower. Now, what are we going to do in the 5-minute BISI? This is what my pivot point is. Immediate displacement, holy shit, immediate displacement. Now, from the internal manipulation, displacement lower, BISI disrespect, what are we going to do at this internal low? And the 1-minute BISI formed by PPI. Okay, it looks like we're just going to go straight to PPI low. Yeah, we're just displacing straight out. Rebalance displacement, see what we do around PPR low. Now, if we do see the manipulation of PPR low, what can I either anticipate? Now, considering it is a prominent low, we can most likely anticipate a reversal off of it. So like we manipulate, respect an order block, then displace higher, or maybe even make another internal manipulation, then displace higher, making a market structure shift, then build bullish prices. Now, if we do see a displacement below it, a closure, rebalance, respecting the wicks here, respecting the low, and then displace lower, maybe disrespecting a BISI here, making a market structure shift, we can anticipate bearish price action. Now, either way, let's see what price does. Okay, we're getting a deep rebalance higher. Now, we could actually short to a PPR low here. Okay, still respecting this 1-minute SIBI. Now, if I do see immediate displacement away from the 1-minute SIBI, I'd like to see price just come to these equal lows, because what have we formed? Low resistance liquidity. We do have these relatively equal lows here. So let's just see what we do. Have we made SMT? No SMT either. This is quite nice. Okay, could be looking to come back to the rebalance to this low here. Whereas ES has already rebalanced to the low, so we don't really need it. Okay, I'm just going to go on the 1 second now because it looks like we're displacing. You can see ES. Rebalance. Now I want to see displacement. Nothing just yet. We're still respecting a SIBI. Boom, there's my entry. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Why? Why is this my entry? Internal manipulation, displacement, market structure shift. We then respect the low on ES, we do see the respect of the SIBI on NQ. We do see displacement lower with speed and efficiency. This is telling me price wants to go lower. Now let's just target that 1-to-1 there. 22 points, go 2 minis. So TP and a stop loss. Now this is a simple manipulation, rebalance, displacement entry. Same as any of my other entries. Now we could have waited for a closure, but considering we've just got, I don't really like that wick. Okay, I want to see a closure below where my entry point is. Okay, that's quite nice. Now I want to see immediate displacement after we've rebalanced into the SIBI here. If we do see a closure below this low, I'm going to go break even, just to mitigate any loss. Okay, we do see displacement lower. Now give me that closure. Give me the closure. Oh, okay. Didn't see the closure. Did not mean to go break even. Oh, okay. Oh no. Okay, boom. Cool. I want to see a closure below this low before I go break even. Could maybe get a rebalance higher. Okay, well, just tap me out there. See if this full TP hits. Even though it's just tap me out. Okay, boom, TP hit. That was a bit annoying, but same deal. Simple. Just shouldn't have gone break even there. Didn't get break even, luckily. If we saw the closure below, then we would have gone break even just to minimize loss, because if we're manipulating lows multiple times, what does this mean? We're most likely going to continue low. If we do see a candle closure below the low, it's a simple thing, we're most likely going to displace lower. Now, have made the internal S&T there, could maybe reverse, but simple in and out from what? Manipulation, displacement, rebalance, displacement. It really is that simple. Anyway, next day, 10th of September, September 11th. We all know what happened on that day. Anyway, CPI. CPI happened on that day. That's what happened. CPI happened. You know, it dropped. So what do we see? Hourly time frame, we do see the internal manipulation, displacement. Now, where does the next draw on liquidity look to lie? This external high here. Now, from the internal manipulation, displacement, what are we looking for? Bullish prices, manipulation, rebalance, displacement, multiple manipulations. 5-minute time frame, we do see the internal manipulation, SIBI disrespect, displacement higher, multiple manipulations, and a market structure shift above this high. Now, we have made an SMT, so I've got to be careful of that. Now, what is price going to do at this internal high here? There's only 2 things we can do. I keep saying this, it's 3 things, but 2 things. We're not going to chop sideways. We're going to either displace higher, maybe rebalance, then displace, maybe making a SIBI disrespect, maybe making a BISI respect here, market structure shift, then we're building bullish prices to go higher. Or we're going to respect the turtle soup, respect the SMT, displace lower, maybe disrespect this 1-minute BISI here, so we're going to displace lower, maybe make a rebalance, and then displace, making a market structure shift, then we can build bearish prices. So let's just see what we do. Still displacing above the high. Now I want to see, are we going to build an order block or not? Okay. We're still just, okay, weird wick. If we do see the closure above this wick, we're most likely bullish. Like, ES still looks like it wants to take the high. We do see the rebalance lower into really nothing, kind of just rebalanced into the BISI and displaced higher on the 5-minute time frame. Now, this is a algorithmic signature. If we do make a massive wick above a drawn liquidity, and we do see a displacement above the 50%, this is most likely going to signify to us we are going higher, especially because ES has a draw it hasn't taken. We're most likely going to go higher. Okay, there we go. ES hasn't taken it yet. Okay, rebalance into the recent high. Now, from this recent high here, what is price going to do? It's just not looking too good right now. This is the 1-minute order block here. Now, if we are truly bullish, I want to see this high get respected, a displacement through the order block, maybe get a rebalance, then displacement, making a market structure shift, targeting any draws and liquidity up here. Now, just got to be careful on what price is going to do because we're still holding the SMT here. Now, this just isn't looking too good right now. Okay, we're still rebalancing to the low there. Not really doing much. Okay, now I want to see if we are truly bullish, a closure above this high here. Now, if we do see a closure above this high, what are we doing? We're disrespecting the wick that manipulated. So let's just see what price does. ES is about to take the high, so I'm just going to be referring to what ES does once we take the high. Still just accumulating, still respecting the order block. We're really not doing much. We're just respecting the high on the order block. Now, I want to see one of these PD arrays break. Either one, I don't really mind. Okay, there we go. Displacement through the high. Now, what am I going to be referring to as my pivot point? This 1 minute BISI. What can we do from it? Get a displacement through it, maybe make a rebalance higher, then build bearish prices to take out all these low resistance lows here. Or we respect the BISI, maybe could even make an internal manipulation, then a displacement higher, disrespecting some kind of SIBI here, making a market structure shift, then to build bullish price action. Now, it's either one of the two. We're not really going to chop sideways. It's most likely not going to happen, so let's just see what we do. We do see immediate displacement through the BISI. This is telling me price is most likely going to go lower to what? To these equal lows down here now. This could be good. Manipulation, order block respect, displacement lower now. Have made the internal market structure shift here. What are we going to do at the 1 minute BISI? Holy shit. That was a massive displacement. 40-point displacement, okay. Now we could get a rebalance into this 1 minute CIVI, then displace lower. This would be a very clean entry. So if you get a okay, no. It looks like we're just going to straight displace. Maybe. Okay, now we've taken this low, what could we do? ES hasn't taken this low, meaning we have made the SMT now. I'd most likely want to see a reversal. Why? High time frames bullish. ES still hasn't taken this external high, telling me price most likely wants to come back to revisit that high. Now, this happened last week in live trading, and I banked some absolute banger trades just on the fact that ES or NQ hasn't taken these highs and they look really clean. It genuinely is that simple. So let's just see what price does. Okay, we're still displacing lower. Looks like ES is coming to take these lows now. Still displacing low. We still have the SMT though. Okay. Now if you do see displacement lower, it looks like the next drawn liquidity is this internal lower. Any kind of, okay, so we are in the 5 minute BISI here. Now, if this 5 minute BISI does get respected and displaces higher, then we know what's going to happen, but we're displacing for it. Okay, we're making internal manipulation there. This is the internal total suit. We still have this external SMT. Okay, price is getting respected now. Well, the low's getting respected now. We do see a displacement higher. What are we going to do in the 1 minute CIBI? Now, what is this? Again, it's my pivot point. There's only two things we could do from here. Respect it, displace lower, make a market structure shift, build bearish prices. Or disrespect it, maybe get a rebalance into the low, maybe rebalance low, then displace higher to take out this 1 minute CIBI here. The last CIBI in the range usually gets taken, or for ES to take that high if we do get a late entry. So let's just see. Still respecting the CIBI there. Now, if we are bearish, I want to see a closure below this order block and the wick that manipulated, then we could target these lows down here. That'd be a nice entry. Why? Manipulation, rebalance, displacement. Simple. I want to see a closure below this low. Disrespecting the order block. Okay, we're not getting that. ES is getting that. We edged the low there, still respecting the SMT. Now I want to see a closure above this wick if we're truly bullish. Nope, still nothing. Okay, boom, there's my entry. We haven't got the closure. However, ES, this is your tell. ES is displacing with speed and efficiency. We're manipulating multiple times and we've just got the second push on the candle. The backbone of this model is understanding how candles move, especially when it comes to using the 2 candle CIBI, which I will introduce in a later video. But this is basically just a crash course on it. This is an unopened CIBI before this wick has been made here. We then rebalance into the halfway point of the CIBI, then displace lower. That could have been an entry there. It's a lot lower probable than normal CIBI, yet it still works. It's hard to tell. It's an advanced entry, but we're going to be using this for now. Anyway, Using the candles is going to be the backbone of this model now. 23-point risk. Let's just do that. Okay, 2 minis, boom. So what is this entry off? This entry is off. ES still wants to take this external high. This is granted. The SMT is still holding. We've just made an internal total suit. Price is respecting the 1 minute order block. Now we're disrespecting the CIBI. What is getting respected? Bullish PD raise. What is getting disrespected? Bearish PD raise. Now I want to see a displacement higher. And that is why you don't wait for candle closure. This happens all the time, seriously. You just need to understand how candles move. We rebalanced and we displaced. Genuinely that simple. So now what do I want to see? I want to see this BISI get respected and a displacement higher. Now I've got to be careful. Once ES takes this high, I'm going to take out. Because I don't want to get anally penetrated by this SMT. Okay, right, I'm out there. What is the matter for 3 points? What does it matter? I mean, we're probably going to take it, yeah. But why risk your whole trade for 3 points? Like, look at that. Look at that. We've just made the SMT there. This is an order block. We could easily displace lower now. We probably won't, but what is the need for 3 points? Yeah, there's no need. Anyway, perfect trade. What did I go off? Internal manipulation, internal SMT, order block respect, a CIBI disrespect, targeting the last CIBI in the range. It is that simple. And like I said, ES edge draw, rebalance lower, didn't take the low, then displaced higher. Now we're going to probably go lower again. So there you go. Now on to the next day. Let's see. Next day is prelim consumer sentiment. Okay. Prelim usually isn't a good news driver. I never really see any good price action. Like, look at this. It looks low volume. Whenever ES is very gappy, you can tell we are low volume now. Let's just look. We still haven't taken the external drawn liquidity. Now we could come for this. Now, Fridays can either do one of two things. It could be really shit, or they continue really well sometimes, and they just displace to one direction for quite a while after an internal manipulation. So let's just see what price does now. The hourly time frame, we do see the internal manipulation here, displacement higher, rebalance lower. Now I'd like to see from this rebalance lower, what is price going to do at these internal highs here, since we have manipulated them. We do also have the SMT here as well. So do you see internal SMT? Now from the internal SMT, what is price going to do? 15-minute time frame, you see total soup SMT. Now from this total soup SMT, what is price going to do here? 5-minute time frame, what do we see? Okay, don't move. Total soup SMT. Now I'd like to see a displacement lower. Do we have any PD raise there? No, not really. Okay, now on the 1-minute time frame, what do we see? Total soup SMT. The order block still getting respected. Was trying to move lower. Now we respected this manipulation displace higher. Now we just don't have any PD raise in this range. So what am I going to be using? The 50% of the range. We do see a rebalance lower at market open. So let's. Okay, market open just rebalances and displaces lower, making a market structure shift. Now, I'm going to be referring to this external high here. We're manipulating highs multiple times. We've just put in another SMT there. So there's the total soup SMT. Now, if you do see immediate displacement lower, could target lower prices. Why? Total soup SMT, if we do see displacement lower, making a market structure shift, ES is already displacing, which is telling me price wants to go lower. So let's just see what we do. Okay. This looks quite good. This looks quite good. Now, this is lower probable for sure. However, it does look like we need a rebalance low. We've made no internal manipulation, no SMT, but considering it is a consumer sentiment, not consumer sentiment, a prelim Friday, I don't know. Anyway, let's just see. I would have taken the entry on the displacement past these lows, but this is a low probable entry. Look at the volume as well. 11 points for this whole candle. So I'm just going to mock this, but this just isn't looking too good. No, I wouldn't even take this. Just wait for a better entry. Okay, it worked out, but look at the wick on that. I'm just not seeing anything. Looks like we can continue lower. The BISI's still getting respected. Now, if I do see displacement above the 50% of this wick here, could target the external draw, but again, we're just not looking too good. The 1-minute BISI's still getting respected there. Made no internal manipulation. The order block's still getting respected at the high. We we do see displacement now. I want to see what we're going to do at this internal low here. If we do see a displacement past this internal low, we could target this external low or this external low here. So let's just see. We are manipulating lows multiple times here. We do see displacement low, BISI disrespect, order block respect, displacement low. This looks quite good here. But again, ES is, what is ES doing? Nothing. We're just doing nothing. And what do? Edge the draw on liquidity, rebalance the split. Okay, that was a decent entry, but again, I wouldn't have taken it on my XFA, but that would have been the entry there. What do I say? Tolsu, order block respect, displacement low, BISI disrespect, market structure shift, you enter, targeting the external draw. But for 11 points, is it really worth it? Is it worth risking a low probable day? Probably not. But yeah, that would be me done. That was the optimal entry, so I'll be off for the day. So let's just have a look at the analytics, shall we? 85.71% win rate. Okay, do you mind? So yeah, one loss, just a small loss from a trailed. Kind of stupid. Trade did work out, but that's okay. So yeah, 85% win rate, not too bad. My average win rate is around 92, so perfect. Anyway, I'll be doing a part 2 to this soon, so stay tuned for that. But if you got any value out of this, comment down below if you want to see any more, but any more specifically, like any months or anything like that. But apart from that, I hope you got some value out of this. I hope you understood how I see the market, and I hope you can implement it into your own trading, because this model is very easy and it works extremely well in live markets. So anyway, hope you have a blessed 2026. Hope you get those payouts. I hope you pass your evals. I hope you do everything. So have a good day.